The rain came out of nowhere, and so did the kiss. One moment we were running through the storm, her hand gripping mine as she pulled me towards safety. The next, I was pressing her against the brick wall of an alley, our lips crashing together while the rain poured down around us. I'd been fighting my feelings for Victoria for 6 months, but in that moment, with water streaming down our faces and thunder shaking the sky, I couldn't hold back anymore. Before I tell you how we got there, let me ask, what city are you watching from? Drop it in the comments below and subscribe to help this channel grow. Your support means everything. My name is Isabella Martinez, and I never planned to fall in love with my bodyguard. I'm a tech entrepreneur in Seattle, founder of a cybersecurity company that made me a target for some very dangerous people. After receiving credible threats, my company hired Victoria Reed to protect me. She was former Special Forces, disciplined, professional, absolutely stunning in a way that made me nervous every time she walked into a room. From day one, Victoria made it clear that our relationship would be strictly professional. She laid out boundaries, explained protocols, and maintained a respectful distance at all times. I appreciated her professionalism even as I found myself wishing she'd break her own rules just once. The problem was, I couldn't stop noticing her. The way she moved with such controlled grace. How her eyes constantly scanned every room, always alert, always protecting. The rare smile that would break through her serious expression when I said something that amused her. I told myself it was just admiration for her competence, but deep down I knew better. Victoria was always there, a constant presence in my chaotic life. She drove me to meetings, stood outside conference rooms, accompanied me to dinners and events. We spent more time together than I spent with anyone else, and slowly, inevitably, we started talking. Real conversations that went beyond security briefings and schedule updates. She told me about growing up in Virginia, about enlisting at 18, about the missions she couldn't discuss in detail, but that left shadows in her eyes. I told her about building my company from nothing, about the loneliness of success, about how sometimes I felt like I was playing a role rather than living my life. Those conversations changed something between us. The professional distance remained, but underneath was a growing connection neither of us acknowledged out loud. I caught her looking at me sometimes with an expression I couldn't quite read. Soft, almost tender, quickly replaced by her usual vigilance. I started looking forward to our time together in ways that had nothing to do with security. When she'd arrive at my apartment in the morning, I'd feel my heart rate pick up. When she'd hand me my coffee, our fingers would brush and I'd feel electricity. When she'd place her hand on my lower back to guide me through a crowd, I'd want to lean into her touch. Maya, my best friend, noticed immediately. "You're falling for your bodyguard," she said over drinks one evening while Victoria waited at a nearby table, giving us privacy but staying close enough to intervene if needed. "That's ridiculous," I protested. "Isabella, you light up when she walks in. You find excuses to talk to her. You dress differently on days you know you'll see her." Maya raised an eyebrow. "I've known you for 10 years. Trust me, you're falling." I wanted to deny it, but Maya was right. I was falling, and I had no idea what to do about it. Victoria had made her boundaries clear, and I respected them. But that didn't stop my heart from racing every time she said my name, or my breath from catching when she'd lean close to check something on my phone. The tension between us built slowly, steadily, like pressure before a storm. There were moments when I thought maybe she felt it too. Times when our eyes would meet and hold just a second too long. When she'd steady me with a hand on my arm and her touch would linger. When I'd catch her watching me with that soft expression before she'd look away. But she never crossed the line. Never gave any indication that she saw me as anything more than a client to protect. So I buried my feelings, told myself they'd fade, and tried to focus on my work. Then came the fundraiser in downtown Seattle. It was a black tie event for local tech companies, networking and speeches, and the usual social performance. I wore a midnight blue dress that made me feel confident, and when Victoria saw me, something flickered across her face before she schooled her expression back to professional neutrality. "You look nice, Miss Martinez," she said formally, even though in private she'd started calling me Isabella months ago. "Thank you, Victoria." I wanted to tell her she looked incredible in her tailored suit, but I kept it professional. Shall we go? The event was fine. Typical networking and small talk. But I felt restless, hyper-aware of Victoria's presence a few steps behind me. Every time I glanced back, she was there, watching me with those observant eyes. The weight of her attention felt physical. Halfway through the evening, I stepped outside for air. The Seattle weather had been threatening rain all day, and now dark clouds rolled overhead. Victoria followed me out to the balcony. "Everything all right?" she asked, moving to stand beside me at the railing. "Just needed a break from the crowd." We stood in silence, the city sprawling below us. I could feel the energy building between us, that familiar tension that had been growing for months. The air felt charged, heavy with approaching rain and unspoken words. "Isabella," she said quietly, and something in her tone made me turn to look at her. "I need to tell you something." My heart was pounding. "What?" She opened her mouth to speak, but then her phone buzzed urgently. Her expression shifted instantly to alert. "We need to move. Now." "What's wrong?" Credible threat. "Someone called in a tip that you're a target tonight." Her hand was already on my arm, guiding me back inside. "We're leaving immediately." Everything happened fast after that. Victoria coordinated with her team, got me out of the building through a service exit, and had us in her car within minutes. Rain started falling as we pulled into traffic, light at first, then heavier. "Where are we going?" I asked as she navigated through the streets. "Safe house. Just a precaution until my team clears the threat." But as we drove, Victoria's expression grew more concerned. She was checking mirrors constantly, taking unexpected turns. Finally, she pulled into a parking garage and cut the engine. "What's happening?" My voice was steadier than I felt. "We're being followed. I'm going to lose them, but I need you to trust me completely." Her eyes met mine, intense and serious. "Can you do that?" "Yes." We exited the garage on foot, Victoria's hand firm on mine as she led me through back streets and alleys. The rain was coming down hard now, soaking us within seconds. Thunder rumbled overhead. She pulled me into a covered doorway, pressing us back against the wall, her body shielding mine. We waited, her breathing controlled, mine rapid. I could feel the heat of her despite the cold rain, could smell her subtle cologne mixed with rain and something uniquely her. "I think we're clear," she said after several minutes. "But we'll take the long route to be safe." We started moving again, but the rain was relentless. Within blocks, we were both drenched, water streaming down our faces, our clothes clinging to our bodies. Victoria kept glancing back, checking for threats, but also checking on me. "Are you okay?" she asked as we ducked into an alley to catch our breath. "I'm fine." I was shivering, but not just from cold. The adrenaline, the rain, the way she was looking at me, it all combined into something electric. She shrugged out of her jacket and draped it over my shoulders despite being soaked herself. "We're almost there." Her hands lingered on my shoulders after arranging the jacket. Our eyes met, and suddenly the space between us felt charged with more than just danger. The rain created a curtain around us, isolating us from the world. Her hair was plastered to her face, water dripping from her eyelashes, and she'd never looked more beautiful. "Victoria," I whispered. "Isabella, she stopped, seeming to struggle with words. What I was going to say earlier before the threat. "I've been trying to stay professional to maintain boundaries, but it's getting harder every day." My heart was racing. "What do you mean?" I think about you constantly." Your smile is the best part of my day." Every time I have to keep my distance, it takes more effort than any mission I've ever been on." She swallowed hard. I'm falling in love with you, and I don't know how to stop." The world seemed to stop. Rain poured around us, thunder rolled overhead, but all I could hear was her confession echoing in my mind. "Then don't stop," I said, stepping closer. "Isabella, I'm your bodyguard." "There are rules, ethics, professional boundaries I'm supposed to maintain. Do you want to maintain them?" I was inches away from her now, looking up into her eyes. "No." The word came out rough, honest. "God, no. I want to kiss you so badly, it's killing me." "Then kiss me." For one moment, she hesitated. Years of discipline warring with desire. Then the dam broke. Her hands cupped my face and she pulled me to her, lips crashing against mine with desperate intensity. The kiss was everything I'd imagined and nothing like I'd expected. Fierce and tender at once, full of months of suppressed longing. I gripped her shirt, pulling her closer, kissing her back with equal desperation. The rain poured down around us, soaking us further, but neither of us cared. When we finally broke apart for air, she rested her forehead against mine. We shouldn't be doing this. I don't care. I kissed her again, softer this time, savoring it. I've wanted this for so long. Me too. She kissed my temple, my cheek, back to my lips. Isabella, you have to know this changes everything. Good. I want everything to change. We kissed again, and again, unable to stop now that we'd finally given in. Her hands tangled in my wet hair, mine explored the strong lines of her back. The rain continued falling, thunder rumbling, but we were lost in each other. Eventually, practical concerns intruded. Victoria pulled back reluctantly. We need to get you somewhere safe and dry. I feel pretty safe right here, I murmured, not wanting to let her go. She smiled, that rare full smile that transformed her face. You're going to catch pneumonia. Come on. We made it to the safe house, a small apartment Victoria's company maintained. Once inside, she immediately checked all the security measures while I stood dripping in the entryway. All clear, she announced, then really looked at me. You're shivering. Let me find you something dry to wear. She disappeared into the bedroom and returned with towels and clothes. Bathroom's there. Get out of those wet things. I changed quickly, emerging in an oversized t-shirt and sweatpants that were clearly hers. Victoria had changed too. Her wetsuit replaced by casual clothes that made her look younger, less guarded. Better? She asked. Much. I moved closer to her. Victoria, about what happened, I know, we need to talk about it. Figure out what it means. How to handle the professional complications. She reached for my hand. But first, come here. You're still cold. She led me to the couch, wrapped a blanket around us both, and pulled me against her side. The warmth of her body, the comfort of her arms around me, felt like coming home. I meant what I said, she told me quietly. I'm falling in love with you. I've been fighting it for months because I knew it was wrong, knew it complicated everything. But in that alley, with the rain falling and you looking at me like that, I couldn't hold back anymore. I'm glad you didn't. I snuggled closer. I've had feelings for you for months too. I kept telling myself it was just admiration or gratitude, but I was lying to myself. Victoria, you make me feel safe and seen and cherished in ways no one ever has. She kissed the top of my head. So what do we do now? We figure it out together. I looked up at her. I know it's complicated with your job and professional ethics, but I don't want to go back to pretending there's nothing between us. Do you? No. Never. She tightened her arms around me. I'll talk to my supervisor tomorrow. Disclose the relationship, see what our options are. Maybe I transition off your detail, but stay involved in overseeing your security. Maybe you hire a different firm entirely. Whatever we need to do to be together ethically, we'll do it. And if they make you choose between your job and me? She looked at me seriously. Then I choose you. Every time. The certainty in her voice made my eyes sting with tears. I choose you too. We spent that night talking, planning, and yes, kissing more. A lot more. Now that we'd broken through the barriers between us, we couldn't seem to stop reaching for each other. Every conversation ended with her pulling me close, with my lips finding hers, with both of us getting lost in the connection we denied for so long. By morning, the threat had been cleared. It turned out to be a false alarm. Someone's idea of a cruel prank. But neither of us regretted how the evening had ended. Victoria made good on her promise. She disclosed our relationship to her company, and after lengthy discussions, they agreed to let her transition to a supervisory role on my security while a colleague took over day-to-day protection. It wasn't ideal being separated during work hours, but it allowed us to be together without ethical conflicts. We started dating officially, carefully at first, both of us navigating this new dynamic. She took me to dinner at quiet restaurants, walked with me through Pike Place Market on weekends, introduced me to her sister who hugged me and said she'd never seen Victoria this happy. I met her friends, other former military folks who treated me with warmth and respect. She met Maya, who took me aside and whispered, "I told you so, but I'm so glad I was right." 3 months after that rainy night, she asked me to move in with her. 6 months later, she proposed, getting down on one knee in that same alley where we'd first kissed, rain falling around us just like before. "I want to spend my life protecting you," she said, ring box open. "Not because it's my job, but because you're my heart. Will you marry me?" I said yes through tears, and we kissed in the rain again, just like that first time. We got married in a small ceremony with close friends and family. When we exchanged vows, she promised to love me with the same dedication she'd once used to protect me. I promised to be her safe place, her home, her reason to smile. During our first dance, rain started falling outside the venue windows. We both laughed, remembering that storm that had changed everything. "Think the universe is trying to tell us something?" I asked as she held me close. "That we're exactly where we're supposed to be," she murmured, kissing me softly. Looking back now, I'm grateful for that false threat that sent us running through the rain. Grateful for the storm that finally broke down the walls between us. Grateful for the moment I stopped caring about propriety and just kissed her. Consequences be damned. People ask sometimes if it was worth the professional complications, the ethical questions, the judgment from some people who thought a bodyguard-client relationship was inappropriate. I tell them about kissing her in the rain, about finally being able to stop pretending, about building a life with someone who sees me completely and loves me anyway. That kiss in the rain wasn't just our first kiss. It was permission to be honest, to stop hiding, to reach for what we really wanted. And once we started, we couldn't stop, not kissing or loving or building a future together. Victoria still has protective instincts, of course. She checks locks twice, walks on the outside of sidewalks, scans rooms we enter together. But now her protection comes from love, not duty. Now when she holds me, it's not about keeping me safe from external threats. It's about creating a space where we're both safe to be completely ourselves. We still go out in the rain sometimes, on purpose now. We'll dance in storms, kiss under downpours, laugh as we run for cover. Each time we remember that night, the moment everything changed, the decision to stop fighting what we felt and just surrender to it. If you're still watching, thank you for being here. Subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment telling me about a moment that changed your life. I love hearing your stories, and this channel exists because of your support. Because sometimes love comes in the middle of a storm. Sometimes the moment you stop running from your feelings is the moment everything falls into place. Sometimes all it takes is rain, thunder, and the courage to close the distance and kiss the person you've been wanting for months. We couldn't stop that night in the rain. And years later, I still don't want to stop kissing her, loving her, choosing her every single day. That's what happens when you find the person worth running through storms for. You hold on, and you never let go.